Welcome everybody to my first episode of this Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim franchise series on MLB The Show 18. That's right guys, I'm going to give franchise a go this year. I really hope you guys are behind it because I had this idea going into this game after hearing the announcement that they were going to remove online franchise for MLB The Show 18, particularly because they were working on the servers, and online franchise, while there is a very dedicated community of people that play that game mode, it just doesn't get the same attention as all the other game modes in the game. And it's no secret that Diamond Dynasty and Road to the Show are the two biggest modes on MLB The Show, so I just don't want anything to happen to franchise. Even though I don't really play franchise very much, I know a lot of people that really love this game mode, and I don't want to see it be thrown to the side every single year, so I'm going to do everything I can along with some guys like M. Frisk, Moonlight Swami, Mr. Hurricane, Will to Win. I will leave all of their links down in the description. Please go check out their franchise videos. We don't want franchise to die, and whether you like my series or not, that's okay. I just want to have it at least be a little bit more viewed in the community because I don't want the game mode to die and get pushed to the side every year. So with that being said, let's go over this Angels franchise. I am an Angels fan, guys. You can see behind me, I do have my Angels banner up on the wall. So I wanted to go with my favorite team for my first run around of franchise in the show. And last year, the Angels finished 80-82, 2 games under 500, and they finished 5 games out of the second wild card in the American League last year. The Minnesota Twins did get that second spot, and they played the Yankees. So in 2018, the Angels are looking for a bounce back year. They made a lot of moves in the offseason, some really notable ones. So they are trying everything they can to keep up with the Houston Astros and the rest of the American League as it only continues to get better. So with that being said, let's take a look at our team overview and talk about some of the major highlights on this team for this franchise. Of course, you cannot talk about the Angels without mentioning the best player in the game today, Mike Trout. Mike Trout is a generational talent. He's a 5-tool superstar. He is the best player in the league, and he's been the best player for the past 5 years, and the scary thing about him is that he only seems to get better. 99 overall in franchise, a potential, the best center fielder in the game. This man is the staple of the Angels, and hopefully the staple of the Angels for a long time to come. Another very intriguing aspect of the Los Angeles Angels this year is the addition of Shohei Ohtani. There was a major sweepstakes for Ohtani coming over from Japan in the offseason. The Angels did win the bid, and he did sign with them. Now, the thing that makes Ohtani such an interesting player is the fact that he can both pitch and hit. He is the #1 prospect coming into baseball for 2018, and a lot of people are going to be very iffy on this guy. Some people are bought into him as a player, some people are not. Some people are very hesitant to think about this guy. The nice thing about Ohtani is that I can use him in the show either way I want. Here are his pitching numbers, and if I show you his hitting numbers, boom. This is probably the best hitting pitcher in the entire game because he can actually hit. So whether or not Ohtani makes the major impact that the Angels are hoping for is still to be seen. The Angels also have the best defensive shortstop in the game. You could argue Brandon Crawford, but I personally do think it is Andrelton Simmons. The dude has shown year in and year out with spectacular play after spectacular play that he is unbelievably talented on defense at the shortstop position. He had a very good 2017 season. He hit .278 with 14 home runs and 69 RBIs, and he's so consistent on defense. He also played the most games he had ever played in his entire career. So the Angels really need this guy to stay healthy and be a staple to go along with Mike Trout and be the 2 best defensive players on that team. So the Angels also went out and signed a couple different guys to help fill the positions of need in their infield. The first guy they went out and signed was Ian Kinsler. He did not re-sign with the Detroit Tigers, and the Angels did pick him up. At 35 years old, they did sign him on a 1-year deal, so I don't expect Ian Kinsler to be a long-time member of the Angels. I think they're just trying to get him in there to get as much production out of his bat as they can, as the Angels do try to make a push to the postseason. They also went out and signed none other than Zach Kozar from the Cincinnati Reds. They actually put him on a 3-year deal, and what is interesting about Zach Kozar is that he is a shortstop shortstop by trade, but the Angels are actually going to use him at third base to fill that hole because Zach Cozart is not going to start over Andrelton Simmons. As far as the rest of the starting lineup, you do have Justin Upton out there in left field. They just signed him to a 5-year extension. He is going to bring a lot of power and some solid defense to the table for them in that left field spot. The other corner outfielder they have is Cole Calhoun. He's going to be playing right field. Hopefully Cole Calhoun can actually improve his average because he did drop to a 244 average last year. They're going to need that to improve from the right fielder. He only had 19 home runs. He is a player that can get over 20 home runs, so Angels would really like to see him do that this year. Of course, Albert Pujols is still on the team. It'll be interesting to see how much time he gets at first base and how much he gets at DH. That's another thing with Ohtani. He can play first base. Will the Angels use him at first? Will they use him as a DH? It'll be interesting to see the play time between Albert Pujols and Shohei Ohtani. And at catcher, the Angels are going to throw Martin Maldonado. He had a really good year last year defensively, so he should be a good defensive captain there behind the dish for them. As far as the rest of the pitching rotation behind Shohei Ohtani, you have Garrett Richards, who has, of course, shown that he can be a very electric pitcher in the past. He needs to stay healthy, and he needs to bring his ERA down a little bit if he wants to still be looked at as a really good pitcher. The back half of the rotation is going to be made up of Andrew Heaney, Matt Shoemaker, Alex Meyer, and Tyler Skaggs. There will probably be some moves made between them. Somebody will probably be sent down to AAA. Most likely, I would think it's going to be Alex Meyer. Unless the Angels do decide to go with a 6-man rotation, which is going to be very interesting, then the rotation, you're probably going to see a lot of moving pieces. As far as the bullpen, the two standouts, you have Cam Bedrosian, 26 years old. He is an 82 overall in the game. He's got 2 fastballs, a 4-seam, a cutter, a slider, and a changeup, so he can mix up the pitches pretty well and fool some batters with that right-handed arm slot. And then at the closing position, the Angels are going to be using Blake Parker for the most part. He does have a very nice split-finger fastball, 99 break in MLB The Show, so you're going to see a lot of hitters miss when Blake Parker is hitting spots. So now we're going to take a look at the prospect watch for the Angels in 2018. Some of these guys might even make an appearance this season on the Major League roster. They might be a September call-up, or they could possibly be used as trade pieces down the line in the near the trade deadline if we decide to make any moves that could help us maybe secure a division championship or a wild card. The first guy we have is Bo Arthur. He is currently in AAA Salt Lake. He is a starting pitcher, 62 overall. He's only 20 years old, but he does have A potential. It's very exciting to see where Bo Arthur will go. He is going to start the season in AAA, but if he does start putting up numbers and maybe Alex Meyer or Heaney or Skaggs cannot hold their weight on the back half of that bullpen, there could be a chance he makes an appearance on the Major League roster. The next guy we're going to highlight is Mario Tejada. He's a closing pitcher, and he is a top 50 prospect. He is ranked 46th in the top 50. Mario Tejada is a left-handed closing pitcher with very good velocity, 78 velocity. Hopefully, as the season goes on, he will be able to improve that even more and hopefully even get some more break. He's got a 4-seam, a 12-6 curveball, a 2-seam, and a slider, 2 fastballs, 2 breaking pitches. He's 19 years old in AAA Salt Lake with B potential, so hopefully he will continue to progress and get even higher on that prospect list. And last but not least, another guy that we're going to highlight is in AAA. This is Steven Gonzalez, first baseman, 23 years old with B potential. He is also on the top 50 prospect list, ranked at 38. 5'11", 189. He's a switch hitting first baseman who can also play left field if we need to. Really good arm strength defensively, really good contact. The power, I would like to see that go up a little bit because Albert Pujols could be coming out of there within a few years, if not sooner than that. So it would be nice to get Steven Gonzalez up a little bit so he can actually take over that role if we need him to. So that is the roster overview for the 2018 Los Angeles Angels. Now, if we start looking towards the future and where we need to focus our scouting, our corner infield spots are going to need a lot of help. That's why Steven Gonzalez would be really great to have him progress and hopefully take that starting spot away from Albert Pujols within the next couple years. We do have Zach Cozart on a 3-year deal over at third base, so he's probably going to be our starter there for those 3 years, so we don't need to completely go all out on third base right now. Bullpen is definitely going to need some help. We do want to draft a lot of young arms to come out of the pen. One thing I do want to highlight out here, it says first in center field, of course, with Mike Trout, second in left field, of course, with Justin Upton, and then 10th with Cole Calhoun. After those 3 guys, the outfield depth is pretty shallow. We're gonna need to actually focus on the outfield and not just go off the top guys we have, because if one of them gets injured or if we lose one of them in trade talks or contract negotiations, it's not gonna be that easy to just fill in that spot. If we take a look at our contracts, we can see that we still do have Mike Trout for 3 years going through 2020. He is gonna be making the most on the team in those 3 years, so he'll be making $31 million a year. So we don't have to worry about locking up Trout long-term right now. We also have Simmons signed through 2020 as well, $13 million a year. Guys who are going to be free agents after this year, we do have Garrett Richards, Blake Parker, Tyler Skaggs, Valbuena, Calhoun has 2 years left, Chris Young has a free agent opportunity after this year. So as of right now, there doesn't seem to be an immediate threat for guys that we have to make sure that we sign right away. The only notable real starter that we have that is going to be going away after this season is going to be Ian Kinsler. We'll see how he does this year, and maybe we'll re-sign him, or maybe we'll take a look at the market. So we're going to go ahead and play our first game of the season. We're going to go ahead and play opening day, but really quick, I do want to do a schedule breakdown really quick and show you guys what are the most important parts of the season for the Angels schedule. So actually, if you look right here in the first month, starting April 17th through April 29th, very tough schedule. 3 games against Boston and then 3 games against San Francisco. Boston did get JD Martinez. San Francisco got Evan Longoria and Andrew McCutchen. And then after that, we have a 3-game set at Houston, the reigning champions of the World Series. And then we have a 3-game set against the Yankees. So right there, 4 teams that got better, 4 of the top teams in the league. Maybe not the Giants, but the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Astros in 3 out of 4 series. Very tough end of April for us. So right here in July, at the beginning of the month, and then a little bit after the All-Star break, there is a bit of a tough stretch of the schedule. We have a 3-game set, a divisional matchup against the Seattle Mariners, then a 3-game set against the Los Angeles Dodgers, the reigning National League champions. Then we have another 3-game set against the Seattle Mariners, then another 3-game set against the Dodgers. Then we have the All-Star break, and then right out of the All-Star break, we have the Houston Astros. So it's going to be a very tough month of July, especially at the start. And just like it always is, in the month of September, there are going to be a lot of divisional games. You see, you've got Houston, Texas, Seattle, Oakland, Houston, Texas, Oakland. That's 8 divisional series in 1 month right there. So it's going to be a very, very interesting month of September if the races are close. Alright guys, hopefully I provided a lot of in-depth information about this franchise. I really want this series to be high quality. I really want you guys to enjoy it and be invested in the team just like I am. So we're going to go ahead and get into the first game, guys. Angels versus Athletics, Shohei Ohtani's debut versus Sean Manaea from the Oakland A's. Let's go, boys. It's time for Angel Baseball.
It's time for baseball on MLB Network. Opening day is here as we get the new season underway with a good matchup between the Angels and their Golden State rivals to the north, the Oakland A's. Hello again, everybody. Baseball is back. Welcome to our special opening day broadcast on MLB Network. Joined by Dan Plesac. And Dan, as we get things going this season, it's pitching that has to be key if this team's going to have success.
You know, I always think pitching and defense are the keys to success in the long run. So as the season gets started, it's going to be really important for this pitching staff to set a good tone. If they can get off on a good foot, it will do a lot for the confidence of the entire ball club.
The game's count starting now. Opening day on MLB Network, and it's coming up next.
So here we are in the top of the first pitch of the 2018 MLB season for the Angels is going to be a strike to Andrelton Simmons. Later in the at-bat, Andrelton Simmons does hit a ball to right field for a leadoff base hit, and that is how the Angels season gets started. After a pop-up out from Ian Kinsler, Mike Trout steps up to the plate to see if he is going to be able to get Andrelton Simmons farther along. Gets a fastball on the outside part of the plate, hits it right to the second baseman. Looks like it's going to be a double play, but it is not able to be picked out of the dirt, and Mike Trout is going to be safe. Next up, Justin Upton. He hits into a ground ball as well. Going to be a very tough play, a very long throw, and Justin Upton is going to be safe at first base, which gives 2 on for Zach Cozart with 2 strikes, and he takes a 4-seam in the zone. It froze him, and that's how the first inning ends. And here we go, we get our first look at Shohei Ohtani, 6'4", 203 pounds at 23 years old, making his first major league start for the Angels. First batter is going to be Steve Lombardozzi. First pitch of the at-bat, he takes the fastball over to shortstop, so 1 pitch, 1 out for Ohtani. Very good way to start it. Next batter, Jed Lowry. He is also swinging at first pitch, and that is a pop-up behind the dish. Maldonado has no problem with that, and 2 pitches, 2 outs. Third batter is going to be the newest Oakland A, Stephen Piscotty. The split finger fastball is too much for him to handle, and Shohei Ohtani has his first major league strikeout. Now leading off the top of the second, you have the veteran Albert Pujols coming up against Sean Manaea, and Albert Pujols did not miss the fastball down the middle. That is a no-doubt shot over that left field wall into those seats, and that is going to put the Angels on the board and take an early 1-0 lead. So after a quiet second and third inning, we're going to jump right into the third. Shohei Ohtani back on the mound. Dustin Fowler, a young player for the Oakland A's, gets the first hit of their season. It is going to be a ball right down the third base line, and he is going to be able to get a double, and just like that, there is a runner in scoring position for Matt Chapman, and then he takes a low and outside slider to right field, which is going to score the run. Right here, a bit of a defensive mishap. Cole Calhoun throws home, and Chapman does take that extra base, so being very aggressive. Next batter is going to be Maxwell, the catcher, and he is also going over the third base bag with that runner on second, and that is going to be enough to drive him home, and just like that, the Oakland A's have taken a 2-1 lead in this game. After an out, Jed Lowry comes back up to the plate, and this time he's actually going to sneak a hit past the first baseman, Jeffrey Marte. And once again, Shohei Ohtani is in trouble. We go to a mound visit to try and calm his nerves a little bit because he is 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. Stephen Piscotty comes up. We get the ground ball we're looking for. It's going to be a tough play, but the 48 speed is not able to beat it out, and Ohtani pitches out of a jam. Jumping into the top of the fifth here, we have Cole Calhoun leading off the inning. He gets himself in a 2-0 count, and on the lefty-lefty matchup, he goes into the shift, and it's going to be a tough play regardless, and he's able to get on base to start off the inning. Now, Martin Maldonado does come up, and we have the idea to do a sacrifice bunt to get Calhoun over to second base for the top of our order. We'll take that out. And now it's up to Andrelton Simmons, the leadoff hitter, on a 2-1 count. Gets a breaking ball right over the middle. Cole Calhoun got a little bit of a late jump. The throw from Fowler coming home is going to be in time, and Calhoun is thrown out from second base. And now it is up to Ian Kinsler to get Andrelton Simmons home. He's a little bit in front of that ball, grounds out, and the Angels threaten, but are not able to score the run. Meanwhile, Shohei Ohtani is dealing in the top of the fifth. He has Fowler up first and gets him swinging on a outside fastball. Comes up next with Matt Chapman, and he is going to take a breaking ball. Nice backhanded stop by Jeffrey Marte for the second out of the inning. And the third batter is Bruce Maxwell. He did get a hit in his last at-bat, but on this at-bat, he cannot lay off the changeup, and Ohtani is through 5 and throwing really well. Jumping into the top of the seventh now, the Angels have 2 quick outs, and Cole Calhoun comes up to try to start a rally, and he is able to get inside that pitch, and he's going to bring it to left field for a 2-out double. So we'll see if the Angels can get a little bit of a rally going. 3-1 count to Maldonado, the next batter, and he takes a fastball that ran inside. So just like that, this inning did get a little bit more interesting. 2 on, 2 out, a 3-1 count for Andrelton Simmons, and the high and inside fastball is very quick, not enough for Simmons to really get his hands around, and he flies out to Chris Davis to end the rally. So now going into the 7th inning, Shohei Ohtani is still on the mound, but he does allow a leadoff walk to Olsen, and that is going to be enough for Mike Scioscia. Shohei Ohtani throws 6 innings of 1-run baseball for his first start in the majors. I think that is pretty successful. But anyway, there are a couple lefties coming up for the Oakland A's, so we go to Jose Alvarez right here, our left-handed arm out of the bullpen. Hopefully he will work out in these matchups coming up. The first batter he faces is Dustin Fowler, and once again, Dustin Fowler is getting a hit, being a little bit of a nuisance to the Angels. He did have that outfield assist that threw out Calhoun. He's all over the field today. Next up, you do have Matt Chapman with first and second. We do get a ground ball to third base. We get the out at second, but we are not able to get him running down the line, and we have now 2 outs with runners on the corners. Next up is Bruce Maxwell. He grounds to second base, but it was a 3-2, 2-out situation, and the runner was on the move and beats out the throw, and a defensive mishap means that the A's get another run. So we now go to Cam Bedrosian after all the lefty threats are out of the way. Hopefully he can start to work on getting his ERA down here in opening day. So we got a 3-1 ball game, first and second with 2 outs on a 1-0 count, and it's a base hit up the middle. Mike Trout is not going to be able to throw out the runner from second with that 73 speed, and the A's tack on another run to make it 4-1. Now Jed Lowry up with 2 outs. He's able to sneak one through the right side. Luckily the A's send Bruce Maxwell with 15 speed. Cole Calhoun gets an outfield assist of his own, and now we are out of the inning, but not before the A's do some damage to make it a 4-1 ball game. Now moving ahead to the top of the 8th inning, Ian Kinsler leads it off, gets a low pitch, and takes it the other way over the first baseman's head, and that is going to be enough for a leadoff double. So just like that, there is a runner in scoring position for Mike Trout. Finds himself in a 3-1 count, takes a fastball inside, and there you go. First and second with nobody out. Justin Upton comes up to the plate, gets himself in a 1-2 count, takes a low pitch and just slaps it the other way past the second baseman. The right fielder took an awkward angle, and that is going to score the run as well as get Mike Trout to third base. So now Zach Kozar comes up. He's swinging first pitch. It's going to be a grounder to third base, and it's going to result in a double play. The run does score, but it is now going to be difficult with 2 outs to continue this rally. Albert Pujols comes up, he rolls over to the shortstop. That's going to be an easy play, and the Angels are out of the inning after scoring 2. So after the A's went down quietly in the bottom of the 8th, we are jumping to the 9th inning. The final 3 outs for the Angels are all that they are down to. Jeffrey Marte is flying out to Matt Joyce to start off the inning. Next up is the left-handed Cole Calhoun. Gets a really good swing on a ball, but it is a line drive right to the second baseman. Played him really well in that shift. It all comes down to Martin Maldonado, hits a ball hard, and an excellent play by the shortstop is going to be enough to end this game and give the Oakland Athletics the 4-3 opening day win. So it is a long season, but we are starting it off with a loss. Shohei Ohtani gets the loss, 6 innings pitched with 9 strikeouts and only 1 walk, 3 earned runs, not too bad right there. Pujols had a home run, Justin Upton and Cole Calhoun both went 2 for 4, not a bad overall performance. So let me know what you thought about this video down in the comments. Do you want to keep seeing more franchise? Are you interested in the series? Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are, like the video if you did enjoy it. That's going to do it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.